Hi, and welcome to LoddenPod. My name is Frida, and you can find me as Valkyrie Frida on Instagram. I am actually only half of LoddenPod, the other half, Miriam. She is currently in Oslo, and due to Corona, all of 2020, more or less, and especially now that Oslo has gone into more of a strict lockdown, we have struggled to meet up to film these episodes. And so, with her blessing, I have decided to make a few by myself. The reason for this is that I really want to work on my editing skills, but I also just want to connect more with the knitting community, and I thought this would be a good way to do both. The following episode was actually filmed on New Year's Eve day, but because of some technical difficulties, it's taken me a while to get it actually edited, and because it's now gone a month, I figured I would film a new intro and explain a little bit better why I'm doing it by myself. It's quite awkward. I feel that I am even now very nervous in front of the camera, and I'm sure that if I actually do this evenly or regularly, that it's going to be easier for me to just talk to the camera, but for now it's a bit awkward, so bear that in mind when you continue watching. Yeah, please enjoy it, be kind, and I will film another video shortly that will come out in the beginning of February, I hope. Let's hope that the technical difficulties don't continue to be this bad. So yeah, enjoy, and I hope you've had a good first month of 2021 and that your rest of the year will be good. Bye! So, let's just jump in, shall we? I figured I would talk just a little bit about what I've been knitting on this last month, just to keep it on the knitting. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about my plans for 2021. So yeah, I can start with what I'm knitting on right now. This is my Christmas Day cast on. See if I can get it more visible. It's a bit scrunched up. I prefer knitting on a shorter circular needle so that the stitches easily just move rather than having to continuously try and force them to go around. I don't know, am I the only one? I'm sure it's getting a bit ridiculous at this point, but yeah. So this is the lark shawl by Fibertales. And it's not the first color work I've done in a while. I have some mittens that I've knit recently, but for years and years I haven't really felt the color work. I've just felt stockinette or structured things, so one color but more interesting textures rather. But lately I've just fell down a rabbit hole, and I think this is just the beginning of the color work frenzy. I'm knitting it in Hestekofta, so it's a lamb's wool. I think it would go in sport weight, maybe heavy sport, not quite sure. So it's slightly marled. It's Norwegian white sheep, norsk pizza, and then it has a tiny bit of gray wool in it, but it's not dyed gray. So I like that. And then the contrast color is this Plötelupi. So this is an unspun Icelandic wool that my friend brought back from Iceland. I was so silly. I went to Iceland with my mom and I wanted to buy wool, but I was struggling to find a yarn shop that I recognized. I probably wasn't looking hard enough. I found a lot of wool shops that sold wool clothing, and I did buy a sweater, but not any yarn, and I regretted it instantly. So when my friend was going, she kindly brought back a bit for me. I was really unsure about how it would work knitting with two so different yarns in a color work, but I think it's going pretty well. I like the texture it's giving. The unspun Plutlupi has some different colors in it, so it's like a super soft tweedy effect, I think. And I think it's knitting up beautifully. So it's organized in sections, and I am about halfway through the 7th section, I think, so I have 2 more. So pretty happy about the progress in this, and hoping to have it finished by like the first week in January so I can start using it. Yeah, let me put this away. I think it's going to be disturbing. The other things I've been working on is, let's see here, there we go. I have this cardigan. This is basically finished, but I've been lazy and I haven't fastened any threads or anything. But this is a cardigan. It's my own construction, so I tested out a construction for pattern I'm working on. But to get it more interesting, I have borrowed the berry pattern here, texture, from the Forest Berry Jacket by FabelKnitwear. It's knit in Hillesvåg Tinde in black, and it was quite boring to knit with, but I really needed just a dark black cardigan in my wardrobe, so I figured I would just do it, and then now I don't have to do it anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna try to fasten the threads and steam it today, so maybe I can wear it for this afternoon or this evening. We'll see. I also have some buttons for this that I really like. Let's see here. I have these black glass buttons with a gold rim. These are vintage 50s buttons that I got from Barbit, and I think it's gonna be really stunning. Let's see if I can sort of show you. Is that gonna be good? Let's see. There we go. So yeah, something like this. The sad thing is that I don't have enough. I am missing 2 buttons, and I think my friend has some, so I'm gonna ask her if she has a few spare. We'll see. I really want to use these, and I'm okay with having a different button at the neck, but I prefer it if it was just one, so it's like one accent, not several, you know? So we'll see. Hopefully I can get my things together and actually finish this in 2020. That would be really great. So there's that. In December, or rather I think it was the last week of November, I got really inspired to make Christmas decorations. And I had intended on publishing a free pattern every Sunday in Advent. That didn't quite happen. Well, it didn't happen. I got to 2, and then also in November I learned that I was gonna start a new job, so I started the job on the 1st of December. And so with making the Christmas presents I was working on, with the new job and everything, getting all of these patterns properly written up was just not happening. So I did get around to a few though. I got around to this Christmas tree ornament. Let's see. And I was seeing several Christmas tree ornaments that were a lot simpler in design. Some were just like flat, and then you can get like the points. Some were 3D, but then they were just knit round, and I didn't quite like it. I wanted something that felt right. I don't know. And so I made this. this is the first one, and then I wanted to knit one with beads. So here I have some seed beads to look like the lights on the tree. And I feel like if you knit this pattern and use different beads, maybe red beads or something, or with a bit of white on the top, you can make it look into like different things. So maybe a snowflake tree or a Christmas tree that's decorated, not just with lights. So I'm probably gonna knit some more of these next year. The second one, if I can find it, where did you go? Oh, there we are. Was this Nisse. So in Norway we have these folkloric creatures called nisser, and they are a little bit mischievous. They can be a bit naughty, play like practical jokes on you, but they can also be really helpful. Mostly I think they live in stables and help out with the animals there. And the way we usually see them is with a knitted red hat and then just knitwear. So like here we have a Hestekofta that I put on her and some black boots, you know. So there's that. And then the third one was gonna be a nutcracker, and I got pretty far, but I couldn't get around to doing the last embroidery and actually writing up the pattern, but I'll show you him as he is now. So all he really needs is a bit more embroidery on the head, and then get obviously the hair and the mustache. So I'm gonna finish this up till next year, and then all of the other ideas I had, I think I'm gonna work on them in 2021 and possibly release a pattern for December. It might be a paid pattern, just a little bit, so that I can actually publish it in a PDF and write it up properly, because I was trying to do it for free and writing up the patterns in like the Instagram caption, and that was really difficult to like fit it in but still make it understandable. So we'll see. But yeah, I think these are really cute, and hopefully I will get the rest of my ideas from my head and into the knitting. I also made myself a different calendar, so not like a weekly knitting calendar, but a spinning calendar. So I had one last year made by LoddenPod, where you got a, oh, what do you call them? In English you call them, not bats, but the little rolls basically. So I got 24 of those last year. This year I went for one bat that I bought last year that I just split into 24 bits. And as you can tell, I'm a bit behind. I have a few of these bundles left. But yeah, I think it's turning out pretty nice. It's a bit difficult to see, but there you go. And my plan for this is to combine it with another hand spun yarn. So this is just 100% pelt wool that I spun up to combine these to make some mittens. The reason for that is I made myself some mittens, I think it might have been last week in November, because I really needed some. But sadly they turned out a bit too big. I have them here. I have worn them because I needed them, but they don't really fit me that well. When I wear them, they sort of flop down, and I have like too much space rather for my fingers, and I feel like I can't really do things. So these are gonna go to a friend of mine after I've finished the pair for myself, so that I actually have some warm mittens. But yeah, this is knit in hand spun, so I like the way it's so colorful, but at the same time not. So it's a black base but with really bright colors throughout. So yeah, I like how that looked. The pattern is from a magazine from the 40s that I have. So yeah, I haven't seen anything like it. Obviously it's Selbu, so you get something similar, but this particular Selbu rose I haven't seen before, and I really, really like the detail of it. So I'll be knitting a pair of these that fit me better with these two when I'm done. So yeah. Other than that, I had a yarn Christmas calendar. I know it's a lot, but it brings me so much joy, so I just let myself splurge on having several calendar ideas. This one is from FabelKnitwear, and you get one for each Sunday in Advent, and then one for either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, depending on when you celebrate. And I should probably just show you in like a bundle. Let me see here. Helena has a video up where she talks about this, so you can get more detailed photos, but here you have the overall shot of the yarn she dyed up. And I had her advent calendar last year as well, but I think this year is so much better. The colors are so stunning, so stunning. And my plan for this, and it was the plan all along, is to make a 40s color work Farrell vest, like a pullover. So yeah, I don't know if I need all of these. I'm gonna have a lot left over if I use all of the colors for just a vest, but I'll see what I use. And then I have some plans for the mohair as well, but not for all of it. So if you have any ideas for simple projects, you can use one skein of mohair on. It can be one skein wonder held together with something else, obviously. That's fine. But yeah, I would prefer to not have to buy several quantities of all of these colors to use it up. So yeah, please let me know. Ooh. Yeah. Let's go over to my plans for 2021. On Instagram, I've seen that there's like I don't know if you call it a challenge or a trend maybe, where you post maybe 5 of your plans for 21. And so I thought about what I want to do, and I thought I would share it with you. In 2020, I started designing. I've had ideas before, but throughout 21, I actually started knitting up ideas and working on writing them up. I've always been a really thorough note taker when I knit, so that I know which things I want to change if I knit the pattern again. But it just evolved into my own designs and writing up patterns. And I have several written up, but I don't have the formatting quite ready. And I would really like to get quite a lot of that out in 21, get it out to testers, and then get it published so that I can get it off my hard drive and actually out to the people. And the black cardigan I showed is part of that. I was testing out a construction, and it went, I like it. I like it with this. I have a few modifications that I'm going to use, but I'm getting there. So now I just have to write up that pattern as well. So that's one. I also really want to knit a kofta. So it's like a traditional Norwegian knitted jacket that I've been wanting for years and years, but I've been really intimidated because it's completely color work. And like I said, I haven't really felt the color work. But now that I've started that again, I want to get that done in 21 so that I can cross it off my bucket list, basically. If That's two. I want to knit a bit more from stash, just because I want to be good at actually using the yarn that I have. Most of the yarn I have I've bought for specific projects, but I haven't gotten around to knitting all of them. It's so easy to buy yarn, and it lasts a lot faster than it is actually knitting it up. So I want to get through quite a few of those projects, and while some of them have changed just because that's the nature of time, you change your mind, some haven't, and I still have the yarn and love it and have enough of a quantity to actually do something similar to the original plan. So I have that. I'm not saying that I have like a stop, won't buy yarn or anything, but I want to at least try and use my stash before buying yarn. So that's 3. And then there's something that's not directly like a knitting goal, but I really want to get better at editing and making videos, and so I have a goal of making these podcasts at least once a month so that I can try and get better at editing. So indirectly it has to do with knitting because it's this podcast, but it's more to do with actually video production. I don't know if I have a 5th. I don't know. Maybe I've been wanting to make a bigger garment from completely hand spun, so maybe that's the 5th. I know that Knitting Expat, or Mina, is planning on having a spin and make along, I think around maybe March. I don't quite remember. So maybe I'll participate in that and try and make something bigger from just hand spun. That would be really, really fun. And I have some tools now. I was really, really spoiled this Christmas and I got some tools to actually make that happen. I wasn't actually planning on showing any gifts just because I don't want to brag. I know that I'm really privileged and fortunate. I have got quite a lot of gifts, at least I think so, and I don't want anybody to feel lesser than or feel like they don't have it good just because I'm showing what I have. Maybe I can just show you a few of like the tools so that I can do the spin and make along properly. I got some spinning tools, or rather some wool working tools. I got some wool combs so that I can make worsted yarn rather than woolen yarn. I prefer worsted yarns, but I haven't found the technique of actually getting there yet. So these will definitely help with that, getting the fibers parallel to each other rather than just a bit like of a mess. So I got these from my father and mother-in-law, so that's great. And I also got from them, I think this is really special. Ooh. So in this box, you see, it's full of alpaca fiber, and with it was a card that told me that this is from a farm that's been in their family for several generations. I think they can trace it back to 1600s maybe, and the people who have the farm now is her, I don't know how to say this in English, tremenning. I think it's like a cousin twice removed or something like that. So she runs the farm and has alpaca, and they sell fiber and also get it spun at a local spinning mill. But they gave me several bags of that, so I have 4 different colors. So this is like a dark chocolate brown, and the fiber is just gorgeous. Oh, I love it. And with the different colors, I might want to do like a color work of just alpaca. I have one that's lighter. Most of them are like fairly dark. I have slightly more chocolatey brown, or like is it milk chocolate? Caramel? Something like this. And then I have a really light one. I'm really sorry for like the plastic bag sound. Like a warm gray. So I should be able to get at least some color work done with a good contrast and then a slightly okay contrast. So we'll see. I haven't really knit with alpaca before. I've heard it has a lot of drape. So I don't know what type of garment it would suit best. If it's really drapey and it won't hold the shape that well, maybe a shawl is the best way to go. So maybe I can knit another version of the woodlark shawl, but with alpaca. What do you think? Yeah, if you've knit with alpaca, please let me know how it behaves and how it behaves in a finished garment, because I really don't know and would love to have a bit more information before I get on that. But yeah, so that's just a couple of the gifts I got, and I'm so appreciative that I can now continue learning about and practicing my spinning, which I think is really, really, it's fun and it's interesting and fascinating, and I just really like it. So yeah, I don't think I have that much more to talk about. It's been a bit of a everywhere episode, I think. I'm not really into talking to a camera just yet, and it's difficult for me when I can't imagine the conversation just yet. So if you actually do contact or leave a comment, that would be really helpful, because then I would sort of, I don't know, feel like I'm talking to somebody, just not just talking to a camera. To finish off, I thought I would show you what I'm planning to wear, or part of what I'm planning to wear this evening. Like I said, I would like to have the black cardigan if I can, just to have some warmth. But for my main outfit, I have this blouse. So this is the Decadence blouse by FabelKnitwear, and she released the pattern, was it right at the beginning of December, or was it in November? It was like the end of this year, basically. And I test knit this for her earlier this year, and have just been waiting for the pattern to be released so that I can show you properly. But yeah, it's blouse knit in mohair. See here? And it's inspired by the 20s, and so it has these like bead embroidery, or not embroidery, you knit with the beads so that it's in the fabric. I went for a smaller size of beads because it worked with the needles I had and with the yarn I had, just to give it a bit of a, oh sorry, sorry, I think I got a bit of fluff in my throat, just to give it a more subtle, elegant look, but it's really, really stunning with the slightly bigger seed beads. And one of the plans I have for the calendar mohair is, let me see, here, this one. So this is the last color we got. It's called Ghost of Christmas Present, and I think it's so gorgeous and so festive and just amazing. And I showed it to my mom, and she was just like, "That you should make a Christmas blouse out of it." And so I thought that was a great idea. And so I'm gonna get another skein of this and knit up another one of these. It might be, I might try and do another type of beadwork to make it more Christmassy, but I'm also thinking of doing bigger beads for this one than this one, because who really wants to be subtle at Christmas, hey? Let's just be super festive and jolly. So yeah, next year this is gonna be my Christmas outfit, hopefully. Let's try and keep me to that. So yeah, I hope that you have had a nice Christmas time. It goes without saying that 2020 has been a really, really difficult year. But hopefully you found some joy around the Christmas. I don't know if you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. Is that the right way to pronounce it? I don't really know. Sorry. Anyway, you spent your last few weeks. I hope they were nice. I hope you had a cozy time at home. And I hope that you will have a good year in 2021. Yeah. Happy New Year. Bye.